I'm going to show you how to make a ChatGPT plugin with Python and FastAPI. This is the plugin that we'll be making. It's pretty basic, but it'll just return the current time. Once you know how to make a plugin, you can extend this very easily to do, whatever you want. But this is what we'll be making. The first thing that we're going to do here is create a Poetry project. So just type in Poetry, new Python ChatGPT plugin. You don't have to use Poetry if you don't want to, but I will be in this video. You can do it completely without Poetry. So I'll open this up in VS Code. So then after opening this, let me pull it over. I will create a file called main.py. I'm going to make this full screen. And now let's add our dependencies. So let me pull this up. We're going to add FastAPI and uvicorn. So to Poetry, add FastAPI uvicorn standard. If you're on Mac, you might need to put quotation marks around this. Also, if you're not using Poetry, you can just do pip install FastAPI uvicorn standard. Now we'll do Poetry shell. And now we have a shell with our environment. And now let's create a super basic structural file, paste this in. We're importing FastAPI, creating a basic app, creating a single endpoint. So this will accept GET request to /hello. So this will start on localhost 8000. So this would be localhost 8000 /hello. And we have this description here. This description is super important for your ChatGPT plugin because FastAPI automatically generates a OpenAPI, not OpenAI, but an OpenAPI spec for your app. And this description will be used by ChatGPT to figure out which endpoint it's supposed to hit based on what you're asking. So, if you ask your plugin to say hello, then it's going to use this description, see that this endpoint says hello from your ChatGPT plugin, and it will hit this endpoint. So now after this, let's set up CORS. And CORS is cross-origin resource sharing, which basically is going to let us actually access chat.openai from our application. So I'll import from fastapi.middleware.cors, import CORS middleware, and then I'll paste this other chunk of code in here, which allows the origin chat.openai.com. And now CORS is all set up. There's not really much else you need to worry about for CORS for this, but we need to create a plugin manifest. So a plugin manifest, I'll put this in the description, but basically every ChatGPT plugin needs this manifest, and it's going to be at /.wellknown /AI plugin.json, and this just has some basic information about your plugin, like the name, authentication type, where to find the different information for your plugin. So you can get a starter manifest from that link or from our article. I'm going to go back here, and then at the top level, the root of our app, I'll create a new file, which will be ai-plugin.json, and I'll paste in our manifest for our app. And you'll see it has a name for a human and description for a human, which is what shows up when you're going to the ChatGPT interface and looking for a plugin. That's what users are going to see. This is what the model sees, the name for the model and the description for the model. So this is how ChatGPT determines which model to use by looking at this description. So that is very important. And then authentication, we have no authentication right now. In a future video, I could go over how to do authentication, but for this one, we'll have nothing. And then this is just a few other key points about our plugin. For example, where to find the OpenAPI spec for our app. This is automatically generated from FastAPI, so don't need to worry about this, but is useful for troubleshooting. where to put our logo or where our logo is going to be found, and other info. Now that we have that, we need to actually serve it from our app. So to do that, we'll go to the top, let's import JSON, and now we need to read in our file and return it from that well-known AI plugin JSON endpoint. So we're reading in that manifest file and then returning it from our endpoint. And now that we've done that, we're actually pretty much all good to go. So let's start up our app with uvicorn Python _ChatGPT _plugin .main :app. And then I'll actually do reload as well. So if I make changes, it reloads. Let's just put this to the side, do a new chat, go to GPT-4, plugins, and then plugin store, develop your own plugin right here. And then our app is at localhost 8000. You can also go here, localhost 8000/docs to make sure your app is working. We have our 2 endpoints, /hello and .wellknown AI plugin.json, which is our manifest file. And then you can also, go to the OpenAPI spec right here, /openapi.json to make sure that's working. But we'll go back here, find manifest file, and wait for that to run. And it looks like it worked pretty quickly. We have our name and description, has the manifest file that pulled with our description that's going to use. And then also our OpenAPI spec that's automatically generated from FastAPI. So let's install it. And now let's just say, can you say hello? And hopefully this works. Hopefully it actually uses our plugin. It's kind of generic though, so okay, yeah, there we go. Used it. It says hello from plugin, which if you remember, that is what this message is. It just returns hello from plugin. So let's make it do something a little bit more interesting. Let's make it actually return the current time. So we'll do from datetime, we can type import datetime. Let's change this hello endpoint to time, current time. And we'll do get the current time, it gets the current time. Change this to time as well. Same with the function name. And I'll do the completion right there, datetime.now, hours, minutes, seconds. So now this will return the time. However, you'll have some issues if that's all you do. You'll need to change the manifest file as well to make sure that ChatGPT knows that this application now returns the current time instead of just saying hello. So we'll go back in here and we'll say that this actually gets the current time, and we'll change the name of this to time plugin as well to help it out a little bit. And there's no spaces in here, by the way, it's not allowed. So that should be good. You'll notice this actually didn't reload when I saved this because of how I'm reading it in. So I'll have to go back here and click save in here. See, it actually reloads, and you can also double check. So in here, I need to, let's look at our manifest. You see it says plugin, which says hello. I'll refresh it, and that says gets the current time. If that didn't change, you can restart your app, or make sure you save like your main.py file to get to actually reload so that this description changes. Otherwise, if it still says says hello and then you ask for the time, it's definitely not going to use this plugin. So hopefully this works. Plugins aren't perfect, so maybe this won't work, but let's try it out. Can you tell me the current time? If it doesn't, we might have to do a little bit of troubleshooting. All right, so yeah, it's not gonna want to do it. We could probably improve our description or something like that. Let me just double check that everything else looks like it's updated, gets the current time. All right, so when you say, can you use time plugin to get the current time? Let's try that. Most likely, you could improve the descriptions, something like that. Let me try a different chat. I think there might be something with history I've noticed. So let's go to GPT-4 plugins. It's enabled. Let's try it in here and see if just using a new chat works. Hopefully. Yeah, there we go. Current time is 18:20:12. That's just something that I've noticed. Maybe it's just kind of luck, but yeah, opening a new chat. I don't know if like the previous history messes this up here, but yeah, opening a new chat seems to work better when I make changes like that. So you might always just want to open a new chat, and then double check that everything is also correct over here if you keep having issues, and also improve the descriptions, because without the description, then ChatGPT is not going to know that it can use your app for certain capabilities, like getting the current time. All right, so now let's just go over real quick how to add a logo, because I think some people might want that. I'll just drag in a logo to the root level right here, and then let's go to main.py and import file response at the top from starlet.responses, import file response, and we'll create an endpoint at the bottom, which is going to return our logo. So serve logo at logo.png, reads in our logo file from the root right here, and going back to our manifest, you'll see logo URL is at /logo.png. To double check that this is actually working, you can go over to your app right there. Okay, it returned it. So now if we go back to our application, you see up here it's actually loaded in and you have your logo properly loaded. If you have any requests for future videos, comment down below, and be sure to check out the write-up and the description.